guys, my name is Chelsea. Thank you for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about one film in particular, and that is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So this came out this past weekend, and this follows 200 years after War for Planet of the Apes, which came out in 2017. So we are about 200 years after Caesar's demise, and the entire Earth is run with apes. They pretty much rule everything. Humans still do exist, but they are in bunkers, and they're more feral, and they are sort of underground at this point. So we follow the character of Noah. He is coming into his own in the falconry clan. His father is the leader, and he, at the beginning of the film, is starting his initiation process. So he has to find these eggs and protect them, and then the next day he has a ceremony, and then he sort of is like accepted and like becomes more a part of the village, okay? However, the night before, he encounters a human named May, and she unfortunately cracks his egg. So he is forced to go out and find another egg so that he can still be a part of the ceremony. He is very much like insecure and not really confident in himself yet, so he's trying to come into his own. Unfortunately, when he goes to find the eggs, he runs into Proximus's clan, and they follow his horse back to his encampment, and they capture everyone in his village. So now we are sent on a hero's journey where Caesar is trying to recapture his clan and bring them back home. Now along the way, like I said, he's encountered with May, who is a human, and his whole life he's been told that humans are destructive and just like all these other things about humans. And so he's had this entire idea of what humans are at this point, and he's forced to figure out if that's true. He is forced to come to his own conclusions and really realize what he thinks about humans and how his role is in his village, and it's very multi-layered. May's motivation is to get to this human encampment to find a community again and be one with humans again. They are both brought to Proximus's clan. Like I said, they're both captured, and they are brought to this sort of bunker. Behind this bunker, there is this book that May is trying to retrieve so that she can get to the human encampment and perhaps find more humans like herself. I did see it in IMAX, and I was about 10 minutes late to the movie, so, but that's okay. I think it was really well written because I was able to fill in the gaps for myself from what I actually missed from the beginning. I think that's really good storytelling. I realized about this movie is there's this tension between humans and apes the entire time. Noah is forced to, like I said, work alongside May, but May is also sort of using him to get to a certain point, and this entire time there's this tension between them. He's wondering if she's going to betray him, and she's wondering if he's going to attack her and kill her. So there's also this really underlying spirit of what it means to be humanity, and how we get along with nature and what is already here on planet Earth. May is trying to return to a time when humans did rule a lot and they were in control, whereas Noah is trying to follow Caesar's philosophy, which is to live amongst humans in peace and to coexist. So there's sort of this juxtaposition between the two of them and what their motivations are and their end goals. I really liked this film because there was this also hierarchy within the apes themselves. So you have Proximus's clan, and they are more industrial. They capture this human so that they can learn more about human history, and they basically learn all of it, like how humans annihilate one another, and war and terror, and unfortunately all the things that are part of our human history as a collective. And their goal is to overrun the humans altogether and to run the earth altogether, run other apes, and they want to just control everything. So their goal is to take more of the industrial route in order to eventually claim all the power. So you'll notice that the leader of Proximus's clan, he is adorned with man-made materials and metal, so that's and they're also like in this bunker, so there's metal there. So there's like these sort of themes of them wanting to take a more technological approach, using weapons, using things that humans have been using in the past, okay? Whereas Noah's clan, they are known as the falconry clan, and they are one with nature. And Noah's dad, as I mentioned before, he's the leader of the falconry clan, and he is adorned with earth-made materials like stone and shells, and they are one with nature. They also live in harmony. They don't have a lot of conflict. So there's also like it's a very multi-layered story. So we have like these two clan members, and then we have the humans coming in, and they're all like sort of mixed together on this journey, and we're trying to figure out what May's motives are. May is very much keeping her cards close to her chest, and we're trying to figure out what her motivations are and why she needs Noah and how she will eventually come to this human encampment. So I know it's like very hard to talk about this film without having spoilers, so I do apologize for that. There's a lot that's going on, but it did not feel like it was 2.5 hours. Like, it was easy to follow, and like I said, I did miss the first 10 minutes, so I was able to fill in the gaps, which I think is a really good sign that the storytelling was there. So the one qualm I do have with this film is with May's character. She did seem very young in the film, and there wasn't a whole lot of backstory for me. Like I said, I did miss the first 10 minutes, so perhaps it was in that part that I missed, and I'm aware of that. But I think overall there wasn't a whole lot of her backstory. I understand this was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but her being the only human for a huge part of the film, I just would have liked to know more about how she knew all this knowledge, because like when we were going through, I was like, how would she know that? How would she know where this is? And there was just a lot that I feel like I was missing with her, and her character wasn't as multi-layered or like as rich as I would have preferred her to be. I did really like it a lot. I do like Planet of the Apes series. I have not watched the originals. I've only watched the most recent remakes, you know, with Mark Wahlberg and up until now, and James Franco, of course. But I did really enjoy it. It is something that I would go back and watch the old movies, because like I said, I don't really remember what happened to Caesar. I haven't really experienced a movie that has had this big of a gap from the previous film. Like, from 2017, that's a pretty good amount of time to like forget out everything that happened, and that's a lot of remembering that you have to help the audience do to figure out like what happened between all that time. And I actually would recommend you watch that one first, like the one for 2017, because I felt like I was very much lost. I don't remember what happened to Caesar that much, or like how it really got to this point. So I would recommend you doing that before you see the new film. And there was a stinger at the end, so you should stay until the end of the credits to see what that is. Overall, I did really like this film. I like the themes a lot about humanity, like I mentioned before, and this idea of hierarchy even amongst the apes. Like, I feel like there's just like these sort of things that we fall into naturally as humans, and as, you know, being a part of nature, as with the animals. Like, there's like just this hierarchy, and like there's this need to make this sort of system. And so I think that is like a really interesting theme as well throughout this film, just thinking about the natural world and how we fall into things and how we find our place. And there's, you know, also the coming of age piece with Noah. So there is like a lot of interesting layers to this film, and I really do feel like I needed 2.5 hours to explain all of it. So that's like probably the first time I ever said that about a film, because I usually feel like when I watch longer films, I'm like, okay, this chunk could have been cut out, this is not needed, you know. But I feel like for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, everything was needed, and it made the story much more well-rounded. Yeah, overall, really liked it, and I really recommend you go see it. So thank you much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!